All right, let's talk about a competitive cornhole player's journey. Cornhole Mish here with you, otherwise known as Michelle Thompson. And I want to go through the 4 steps of when you're wanting to be a competitive cornhole player. Meaning you don't just care about playing in the backyard, you actually want to do good. So the first step that everybody's going to approach is getting a flat spinning bag. Now, I will say that you can progress through steps 2 and 3 without a flat spinning bag. However, getting to step 4 of mastery is going to be very, very difficult if you don't have proper and good mechanics. So I caution you to move into step 2 and 3 because step 2 is about muscle memory. And that means that you will be committing memory to mechanics that can't actually take you to the level that you may want to go to. And then you have to undo it all and start over anyway. So please, before you go to step 2, get your mechanics down. Make sure you like your grip. If you're doing a step or a no step, that you like where your release is, that your palm is flat on the when you release the bag. And then I'm going to stop there because I am not the mechanics expert. I am the mindset expert. So it's going to come into play shortly. But step 1, do whatever you need to do to get that flat spinning bag. There's lots of people out there that can help you. Pros will help for a fee, and there's also lots of other people. So when you're learning that flat spinning bag in phase 1, or it's also known as the learning phase, as you've heard me call it, your PPR, your points per round, are probably somewhere between 2 to 5. Like you're just trying to figure it out. You're like, I'm just trying to get the bag on the board. And when it does that, I've succeeded. However, you might want more than that. So then we move into step 2, and step 2 is about a consistent slide shot. Now, sometimes if people are not seeing consistency with their slide shot, they can get sidetracked. They're going to start learning airmails or cuts or rolls. And I'm going to caution you from that. Master the slide shot first, because when you are in the learning phase and learning the slide shot, learning the flat spinning bag, that's a different state of the mind. And you need to get to automation in something. Otherwise, your games are going to be exhausting because you're constantly having to think and worry about what's happening as opposed to having it be automatic. So in step 2, your consistent slide shot, you're really working on your line. So being center on the board, and your distance so that you know where to land your bag. And when I say learning that, I actually mean you're shifting out of learning into automation to where you're getting the reps in so that your arm knows exactly what to do without you having to think. So you don't have to tell yourself, okay, make sure my palm's flat, or make sure we step this way, or got to grip that way. Or you might have little mantras like release or follow through. You might have like little things that you do in your head that are just kind of your routine. But the thinking aspect, the learning phase, has moved, and you've moved into muscle memory to now when you're playing, you're getting this, you're like, ooh, that's my throw. Like you feel it. You're like, that's the one. That's when I'm consistently where I want to be. It feels really good. But you might not be able to do that every time, but you know it when you get it, and it's happening more often, and you're probably shooting between a 4 and 7 PPR. So you're going to have some ceilings where you're like, that was a good game, maybe even an 8. But then you're also like, and sometimes I lose the throw altogether. And step 2 is all about reps. You have to get time in with the throw. And if you can't practice outside due to weather, like at least practice the motion in your home. You can, practice the release of where your hand should be. You can practice how far you come back and then how high you come up, and you can throw the bag into your couch, preferably 27 feet back. So you're learning your line and your distance. But it's reps. It's just reps, and it's tedious, and it has to happen. So if you're getting frustrated, just know that that's probably normal, because this is the kind of, and some people take longer than others. So just be patient with yourself. In step 1 or 2, I'm probably not the expert for you because you either need help with mechanics, which is not my expertise, or you just got to rep it out, which, I can't really help you there. That's on you. So unless you want me to talk to you on the phone every time you practice just to make you do it, but that doesn't sound fun for either one of us. Now I move into step 3, and that's to be consistent under pressure. So in step 2, towards the end of step 2, you'll be getting your consistent shot when you're practicing and when there's no pressure. So whether that's in warm-ups, at your own house, or in a down and back. And then once the game goes live, things might change. Or once you're down in a game, things might change. Or once you play against this person, things might change, et cetera, et cetera. So now you have triggers. You have these things where you're like, this is not how I throw. I can throw up to 10. Like you have a nice high ceiling. You might throw nines and tens, and then you also might throw fives and sixes. And so it's a really frustrating thing because you actually know you can do it and you have done it, but there are triggers that are causing this not to happen consistently. And that is where I come in. So I have courses and I work with people privately to master step 3 so that you can get to step 4, which is shot mastery. At first, this is just your slide shot. So you've mastered your slide shot, you've got your line, you've got your distance. If you need to block, you've maybe gotten that down if that's a shot you're working on. Maybe you're working on air mails or cuts or rolls, but just know that every single time you learn a new shot, you're back to step 1. So if you've mastered your slide shot, you're probably throwing 8 to 10 PPR, so your floor is not so low anymore. But when you go to learn a new shot, you're back at step 1, and that might go faster now because you've like, I got this down. I've done it with this shot and this shot. So now I just do it with this new shot. So it might be a quicker process. However, sometimes as you're learning a new shot and you get put back in the learning phase, you might lose your automation in a shot that you had mastered. Don't worry, you didn't really lose it. It's there. The muscle memory is still there. The arm knows what to do. You just have to rep it out again. So kind of go back to step 2. Get your reps in, remind your arm, this is what we're doing. We sometimes do this and we sometimes do that, but this is the money right here. And that's true of games too, right? So if you're in a game and you're missing shots or the bags aren't working with you, go back to your money shot, your slide shot, get back into automation. And then if you've properly trained the other shots, you will be in automation in those as well. But if you're in step 2 with your rolls and step 4 with your slides, then, try them in games, but when it really, is in a high pressure situation, you might not have enough reps yet, and that's okay. And be kind to yourself in those moments. So if you need help with step 3 or 4, I am your girl. I can work with you on those triggers and work with you in your mindset so that we can minimize those and help you play consistently in all scenarios so that you can just glide through to step 4 and be in mastery.